So this is part two of the frequently asked questions segment and about my book, The Art of Starting Over. So we talked about a couple things and now we're going to talk about a few more. One question that I get that I like a lot is, what do I hope to accomplish, or what did I hope to accomplish when I wrote the book? And I'm not going to say that I set out to change the world or anything like that, but what I will say is that I was hoping to help some of those people who were dissatisfied with their life find a way, find a different way, and I'm even going to say a better way. I was hoping that I could help some people conquer their fears, because I did find that a lot of people were fearful of accomplishing their goals and going after the things that they said they wanted to do. I was also hoping to advance my career. I wanted to do more speaking. And a lot of times as a speaker, you need a product, you need a book, you need a workshop, a series, something going on other than speaking. So I created the book as to accompany my workshops, my speaking engagements. So I'm hoping that when I go to speaking engagements and people hear my story and people hear the changes that I make, and when they know that I'm right when I say happiness is in our choices, that they'll say, okay, I want to make better choices. How do I do that? Give me that book. Let me buy that book and learn. So that's what I hope to accomplish with the book. Another question: what makes me the expert on starting over? So I try to be humble. So the word expert is hard for me, and but I'll use it because that's what happens. You do become the expert. You talk about it so much and you help so many other people do it. So I would say what makes me the expert on starting over is that I have done it, and I've done it several times. So I'll try to make this as short as possible. But remember, I talked about being a barber. So let's even go back further than that. I worked as an assistant while I was paying my way through college. So I went through college. I got out of college with a degree and decided to go back to school to get my barber license, my barber diploma. And so then I took the test to become a barber, and I started working in the barber industry. And then from there, I knew that it wasn't what I wanted to do for life. It was just really good money. It was easy for me. I was good at it. My name was getting around the city, so I didn't want to stop. And then from there, I was like, I got launched into this career as a spokesperson for Extreme Makeover. So I did Extreme Makeover. They said, hey, come to LA. You can do all of this stuff here with us. And so I decided to move to LA. Now, they didn't fund me moving to LA, but they did get me work while I was there. I got my SAG card while I was in LA and pursued this entertainment career with vengeance, and I was on it for a couple years, and I just stayed in that realm. And then one day a friend of mine said, you need something else, you need to make some money, you're too smart, and this struggling artist thing is just hard. And I agreed. And so that's when we decided to open this real estate and mortgage company. So he ran the real estate part, I ran the mortgage part, and we made good money. Back then, you could get a loan for nothing. You just had to just have a pulse and you could get a loan. And so we made great money, and then we partnered with a credit repair company, and then that made everything even better. And so but the real estate market crashed, so I had to transition into something else, which happened to be the financial services industry, which also had a crazy crash right after I did. And so I had to reinvent myself again. And as part of my financial business, I would do a concierge service for my affluent clients. And so that part of my business was the only part of the business that stood afterwards. Now, most people didn't have as much money as they had, and a concierge service is a luxury. So it wasn't thriving. It wasn't a thriving business, but it was bringing in money while I waited for my next endeavor. And then I moved and I got my new job, and so I am sort of the expert on starting over because I've done it several times, and I've helped other people do it. So I said I'd be short, but that was pretty long. Sorry. That's the answer to your question, though. what makes this book different than any other book? So in some of my publicity, you will hear me say it's the last self-empowerment book you will ever need. And I mean that. And the reason why I mean that is because you can always come back to it. If you take a look through the book, you will see that it's sort of like workbook style. I don't know if you can see this, but I guess I should get to a part that is workbook. So it's workbook style. You know, there you're writing down things and you're keeping notes, and because of that, you can always go back to it. So why would you need another book? You created the book. You created this book because I started it for you, but you're going to fill in the blanks. And so this becomes your book and you go back to it whenever you need to. And so that's why it's different. And then there's stories in there. It's an activational book, not a motivational book. So on the days that you're not even motivated, there are going to be exercises that you're going to do to get you activated and get you moving. Start it. And when I say moving, it could just be meaning sitting on your couch making phone calls, but you're going to be doing something. And so that's why this book is different, because a lot of self-empowerment books make you feel good. They say, oh, this is what you need to do, what you need to do, what you need to do. They tell you what you need to do, but they don't tell you how to do it. This book tells you how to do it. And I think that you will agree when you read it. And if you don't, let me know. I'll help you with a couple more steps. I'll give you, because I have plenty of them. These are just 30 steps. I have plenty. I could talk about this all day and night for a year and still be talking, because changes. I just made that up right now. But I like it, so I'm going to use it again. Anyways, moving on to my last question for this segment, and that is, what happens after you read the book? So I guess people think that you decide to start over today and tomorrow everything is absolutely new and perfect and different. No. After you read the book, you do the work. There's work to be done to start over. You go from a decision, to your commitment, to walking yourself through it, to seeing what happens. It's a progression. It's an evolution. So you evolve into this new person, and it takes time to do that. And you do the work. When you're reading the book, you're doing the exercises, which I talked about. And so you're making a list of things that you like. You've created your perfect day. So now you know what that looks like. You set some tasks. You wrote down tasks that you need to do. You set goals. And so you made tasks to reach those goals. And you decided what rewards you would like. You made your bucket list. So now at the end of the book, it's time to start doing some of these things. Follow through. That's what happens after the book. And once you follow through, you will begin to progress into this new person. Your life will begin to shine in a way that you've never seen it done before. And happiness begins to be created, because happiness is not just like a destination. You don't just arrive at happiness. You have reached your destination. No, you create happiness. And I'm going to talk a lot more about happiness later, because happiness is misunderstood, but that's a whole nother segment. That's not this segment. This is frequently asked questions. So I hope that has answered some of your questions. And if you have more, write a comment. I'll answer, or email me directly. But I would prefer that you write a comment, because if you have that question, somebody else has that question. Okay? So let's share. See you soon.